Hello, hello, I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Golett and Golurk, and I just remembered as I was doing my intro, shit, I need to check and see if there's any comment suggestions because I don't remember. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this, I guess. I don't Evangelion. I know the name, that's it, so I'm just going to leave it there. It's up to you. You guys can discuss amongst yourselves and decide whether or not you think it's any good. But Goliath, which we've seen Shadow of the Colossus-based nicknames before, and I fully support that as a thematic. But as a name by itself, that's kind of weak, actually, because that's going to get lost pretty easily. And that's no fault of anyone but Shadow of the Colossus for choosing to use that nickname, that name. You say nickname all the time, sometimes you forget real names exist. Iron Giant was pretty much something I came in expecting, and I chose to look real closely to the inspiration of Golurk just to make sure it's not based on the Iron Giant. That would probably get them in legal trouble, but it is pretty similar, so if that's your thing, sure, there you go. I think Gundam is also a type of anime robot thing too. Like, I'm pretty sure I remember that from, like, the 90s, early 2000s. Not a thing I ever watched, but I'm pretty sure I remember it existing, so, highlighting that for more of you anime types. Megazord is probably, like, the only thing I would actually recognize in reference to all this, because we've already seen, like, Gundams and Evangelions and stuff like that. But, I mean, I remember watching Power Rangers when I was, like, 6. And if there's one thing I actually like about the Dynamax feature in Sword and Shield, it's that when they faint, they literally go out Power Ranger style in an explosion, and that's pretty fucking great. Okay, so we will talk about this one just because it's on the spreadsheet as well, so I kind of got spoiled by that by accident, and it's whatever. I mean, I don't necessarily mind. We're already going over all these different fictitious robots and stuff that it fits the bill, and also just for the sake of showing you what the image is, Optimus Golurk. Not exactly the worst fusion, if I'm honest. Okay, so let's go over this. So let's first start, because I didn't technically go into this one, and I actually think Golurk's inspiration is interesting because it's literally all over the place, and it's talking about Automatus, whatever. I don't care for that as a nickname. I did see Automaton as a nickname on Reddit, and I was like, it's not bad, but it's not special either. So, passing those two up. If you are curious, the Golurk inspiration is literally all over the place, talking about golems, giant robots, a Jewish story, the Golem of Prague, gladiators, the Statue of Liberty, and then the Terracotta Army. So this thing is all over the place where even, I don't know, whoever writes Bulbapedia is just like, fuck it, man. I don't know. It's got a lot in common with a lot of things. But I think out of all of them, my favorite is the idea of the Statue of Liberty. Just because, like, first that does make a little bit of sense because New York. But the idea of this crawling monstrosity that you see before you being the Statue of Liberty is hilarious and horrifying, especially if you saw the Statue of Liberty crawling towards you just like that. I mean, we didn't get an Eiffel Tower Pokemon. How weird is that? I mean, I guess you got the Prism Tower. That was the name of it. Ghostbot and Spookbot are two different levels of stupid. Both of them are bad levels of stupid. NRG, which took me a second, you gotta say it out loud. Energy. You get it? Another cool thing about Golurk I like is the band-aid on its chest. I don't know. I just think that's a cool thing. And I believe even Pokemon Journeys mentioned this, or explored into this concept with it losing its band-aid and going batshit or something like that. Colossus, we see this all the time. I did also see one that just said Shadow Coloss, because character limit, and I like the idea of Shadow Coloss a little bit better than Goliath, because you're trying to do Shadow of the Colossus references, but still stuck, but also the Shadow part at least references its ghost typing. And then Iron Giant, who he gives credit to this person for, but we've already seen Iron Giant plenty of times, and literally anyone who's ever heard of Iron Giant is going to think of Iron Giant. Isn't it great when we come across these and there's a bunch of shit? So let's try and go in order. I don't Dragon Ball, but I recognize that Android 16 is a Dragon Ball. You guys are going to have to tell me whether or not I'm right. I believe someone corrected me because I thought Android 17 was the blonde girl, and someone said, no, that's like 15 or something like that. So I don't think 16's that blonde girl either, but like, I don't know. There's a Dragon Ball for you if you care. The Rock, no. We see this all the time. It's not good. I don't like it. Someone misspelling Gygus, at least you tried. I use Gygus on my Gengar. There's other Pokemon you could use it on. Honestly, Spiritomb would probably be a good choice for Gygus considering its design. But I use Airmac for Spiritomb because it's a collection of hundreds of souls. Giga Chad. Ultron to me sounds like it should be related to Transformers, but that's technically Marvel. And that was in reference, the Avengers Age of Ultron, so I remember that one. But Ultron's another robot for you. Autobot, Decepticon, Optimus, and then below you got Megatron, you got Transformer, we've seen Gundam already, Golu. I've also seen Hogarth a bunch and I don't get it, so answers on a postcard please. Or better yet, don't waste a postcard unless you're from someplace interesting and exotic, then maybe I'll take a postcard. But you could also just put it in like a comment, that would be faster. But I'm cool with the idea of getting a postcard from somewhere cool like, I don't know, China? I was gonna say Italy, but I've already been to Italy, that wouldn't be that interesting. It's got to be somewhere I haven't been to. Poland. Give me a postcard from Poland. So before I go any further, just looking at the statue kind of made me think of gyroids. So I guess there's an idea for you if you want to take a completely different direction. Can of whoop-ass. It's definitely not one I saw coming. And Cold Stone, I like the idea of, Rock and Ice, I guess Auroras, but also you could use that. I don't remember, I think we probably did see in the Vanillux episode after the restaurant Cold Stone. Another idea for you. I don't necessarily think it fits Golurk at all, but sometimes I'll talk about other episodes. Whoever the 21 of you are that voted yes on SpookBot, please seek mental help. Mr. Urbato is not exactly something I would recommend, but I've never seen it before. Iron Man instead of Iron Giant. We've seen that before too, I believe for Scizor. Anyway, we went through the whole thing. We found quite a bit, a lot of it just different types of robots, ending with Rancor. We've already gone over the spreadsheet, which just had Optimus. That was it, Optimus Prime. We do have a single comment suggestion. I see Seek and Destroy is plagued by character limit. And I know it's not what he was going for, but I like that song because Metallica. And, hey, if these I don't Rini Domino and Golurk elsewhere, I appreciate the pun, but it is definitely one you're going to have to explain to anyone for sure. Today has mostly been giant robots and anime, which is not my dig. So going over just stuff we found like Gundam, Evangelion, Megazord, Transformers, Optimus Prime, Ultron, Megatron, Decepticon. No, we didn't see Autobot, but we saw Decepticon, you evil motherfuckers. The Iron Giant, and then my idea of Gyroid at the last minute. But I don't use any of these, and they don't really appeal to me at all either. So the one I personally went with was Pain from Bayonetta. So that's my idea, because look, he's a big old blue giant, and if I can do the Bayonetta thematic, I'm taking advantage of it. So I don't know, it just felt like an easy, obvious one, and I kind of just like the idea of a giant that's name is Pain, because it's what he's going to bring. So I don't know, it's simple, it works for me, it's what I want, so I don't have any problems with that. I had a Ghost team back in Gen 6, and Golurk was on it, and he did pretty alright. But then I disbanded my Ghost team because I was like, I don't know, I didn't feel like there was anything particularly special going on about it. It was Chandelure, Jellicent, regular Rotom, Golurk, I don't remember who was the fifth one, and then Mega Gengar. But that was my team minus one member. And just in general, I just like it was okay. It was a little hard to use, and I feel like that was just because I didn't really play in a synergy with it. Like, there was just like a bunch of random mons that were all thrown together because they were ghost types, opposed to my fairy team or my darkness team, which has boosting abilities thanks to Dark Aura and Fairy Aura, so it worked in that regard. Or my weather-based teams, which work with abilities as well to power up things. So the ghost team just felt random, so I got rid of it. But Golurk's pretty alright, and I like the idea of Pain and Golurk. And if any of those nicknames helped you out, cool, I'm glad. So, any other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give thumbs up to the ones you think are good. Send postcards from interesting exotic places. What about one from Chile? Why not? I'm speaking to countries that are not English focused, but it's the thought that counts. I've actually not looked into my analytics for this channel at all, so I don't know. I just assume most of you are from the US and probably young, but I don't know how true that actually is. We'll keep it a surprise.